Hey, everybody, welcome to the Blerd podcast, a space where we have unfiltered conversations and nerd out about fatherhood. I am your host. Did I say ghost or host? I said host. I am your host, Glennlawrence, and I am happy to be with y'all. We did not do a show this past week. We're doing one now. Some crazy things have happened, y'all. I got COVID. I got COVID. I was not expecting it, but I ended up getting COVID asymptomatic, having to do a little bit of a quarantine. That kind of sucks. But yeah, so your boy got it. Apparently my immune system is kicking pretty strong. It took care of me. Very scary thing. I thought I was wearing my mask, thought I was doing all the right things. As you know, I haven't been out doing comedy, which kind of sucks. Haven't been out there. And then I still get the shit. I still get it. That's what's crazy. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I mean, it's definitely here. It's definitely here. But it is what it is, man. So be safe out there. I could go run through like the whole thing, how it went down, how I was feeling, things that were happening. I felt a little pain in my hand or whatever, had a little cough, but overall, nothing too bad. Although I could feel in my chest, I was like, oh, this could not be like if I wasn't as healthy as I am, even though I'm not super healthy, I'm like, oh, I could see how this could put somebody down. Like, it's not a joke. I don't think it's anything to be messed with, but luckily I'm okay. So there's that. So, you'll maybe hear it around in the streets or something. But anyways, I had it, got better, feeling better. Family's good. They all tested negative. We're quarantined in a small apartment. It can be done. Just keep the door, locked. I got my mask on most times. So baby safe, wife safe. But there you have it. That's kind of the news of the day. What else is going on? The closer, Dave Chappelle put out a special. Listen, I I think if you listen to the special and listen to what he's saying, you should probably have less problem with it. I think. I mean, he said that he's not going to do any more jokes about it or not talk about it again. He's addressing it one final time until we can all be assured that we're laughing together. I think that's a great point, but you got to let people speak their mind. You got to let people have their point of view, or do you? Or do you not have to let people have their point of view? You just shut everybody up and say, like, I don't think that's the way that you do it, because when you're not in control, then it's a little bit different, right? You know what I mean? Like when you have the power to shut people up or whatever, it's all great to shut everybody up. The thing is, when you have that power, allowing people who you don't agree with to talk is very, very important, because otherwise you start veering towards fascism. So you might not like what he had to say, but I didn't think he was inciting things. He wasn't saying hurt anybody. He wasn't saying these type of people are worse or different or whatever. I thought what he was saying was, I understand, but hey, these are jokes. I'm talking about Jews. I'm talking about, all these different people. And these are jokes. This is what you're going to get. I could be offended. You know what I mean? Everybody could be offended at everything. It's at what level are you offended? And I think he did. He was trying to walk the line between not offending and getting those jokes off. So there's that. Other things that are going on in the world: football, the Eagles won again. Woo woo! Toot my horn on that. I'm excited about that. So, all good things. But the big news of the day is, that crazy news about me getting COVID. I would like to give a shout out to our sponsors, who are They Made Me Wear It. You should check out theymademewearit.com, because they are dog stylists for the everyday paw rent. It's a husband and wife team, and they're on a mission to help dogs discover their fashionable side. Whether it's an awesome Halloween costume, adorable dress, comfy jammies, or a custom designer gown, your fur baby will love wearing the latest fashions. Also, when you're shopping in their store, you're contributing to Hope for Paws, an animal rescue organization that works tirelessly to rescue and save the lives of abandoned animals. So what are you waiting for? Why are you waiting? Another animal went without because you did not help contribute to Hope for Paws. You did not get your fur baby laced up in the latest fashion, and they are getting made fun of. You're getting your doggy bullied because you haven't hooked up these fashions on theymademewearit.com. I'll tell you this: if you go there now, you use code word blur, you'll get 15% at checkout off their entire store, and you'll have your dog looking fly for less. There you go. Now, our guest tonight, another comedian, because we love to talk about comedy. We love talking about all that type of stuff. We're going to get all into it tonight. It's Jayé Toler. He's a Richmond, Virginia native. He started performing stand-up in 2009, and he's been competing in local contests, and he's winning several of them. He travels throughout the East Coast, entertaining a variety of churches, colleges, comedy clubs, birthday parties, and anniversaries. Look at those anniversaries. I'm gonna have to talk to him about that. He does all kinds of special events. His style is energetic, temperamental, he has an energetic temperament. Temperamental. I gotta read better. And he has versatile content, and it allows him to bring laughter to any demographic. With each performance, he reasserts his mastery of the art of storytelling. He's going to weave us some stories tonight. And every day he tries to have a laugh for himself and make at least one other person laugh. Maybe, just maybe, he's going to make us laugh tonight. Let me bring in my boy. What's going on, Mr. Jayé Toler? What's happening, brother?
Yo, I did not expect you to read all of that. It's like before the show, he was like, "Hey man, you got a bio." I thought this was gonna be in like print material, some kind of written promo. If you needed something to say to introduce me,
should I have said something different? Oh,
yeah. I was over here. I dozed off. I was like, "He's talking about me still?" Like, you doing what?
Well, shit, you done it, man. That's you. That's all you. What's going on, man? How you feeling? How you doing?
I am marvelous, young brother. Thank you for having me on your show. I like what you're doing, man. It's dope. I dig that. Blerd. I don't know what blerd means, but I was like, okay, word.
It's like a black nerd. You know, I see you got Spider-Man in the background there. You know what I'm saying? So just anything that you like to nerd out about. I like to nerd out about a lot of different things. I love comic book movies, love the comic books themselves, even though I'm not an aficionado. Like, I know enough to, you know what I'm saying, to go back and forth and have an argument about it, but I'm not like, well, on the third issue of Spider-Man, like, I'm not that deep into it, but deep enough to know, you know, the basics and a little bit deeper than the basics. But yeah, man. So and then we come on here, we just talk about fatherhood. You know what I'm saying? I saw that you're a new father. You were you had your son is it your son, right? Around the same time I had my. Yeah, I had my son. Like July 7th was the birthday. What was yours?
Got you by a month. June 10th. My son
June 10th?
turned 4 months on October 10th.
Congratulations, bro. I saw that you posted something about 10-10, and then there was a whole bunch of math, and I was like, okay. My brain started hurting trying to read that post. I was like, I can't. I'm supposed to do research for the show, and I can't read this.
Yeah, no, that one's tough. I did so because he was born on the 10th. Every month I've done something about the number 10, and it's been getting because I get ridiculous with it. It's like I'm not one of those numerologist type of people, but I will find a creative way to make 10 out of something. I'm doing all kind of crazy math, and it's a tough task to even do.
Right,
so I'm adding up so many numbers, but it's just something fun.
Nice. Well, congratulations having your newborn. I got mine. It's a whole new world, man. Things done change. It's funny because I feel like nothing counted before this. Like, I did a lot in my career outside of comedy, and then I did a lot in my comedy career. Just a lot in general, and I'm like, oh, none of this counted. None of this mattered until like now. Now it's like, oh, now it's real live bullets. Like, you know, now and it sucks because I feel like I had some great successes, and I'm like, damn, I gotta be successful all over again because I can't fail in his eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like, before I could fail, and then I didn't. I was successful or whatever I was doing, and now it's like, okay, now I'm here. And I can't fail now because now he's going to see me and be like, oh shit, dad's a bum or whatever, you know?
I think so I think I get what you're saying, but I think failure is when you stop. Right? I don't mind my son seeing me not make it at something as long as I didn't stop trying to get there. So I'm going to keep on going. So failure to me isn't missing the mark. Failure is discontinuing of aiming for the mark. So
I also understand what you're saying, but I'm old, so I quit a lot. I take naps. I need to slow down and stop and fall asleep. I don't want him seeing that energy because like, that's an old man thing. That's an after 40 thing where you're like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and take a nap right now.
I think I get you because you quit wearing masks. You said you wear a mask most time, and then you said I don't want. you didn't expect COVID, and I'm over here listening to you like, wait a minute, like you
No,
wear a mask most time, not all the time, but
no, I
nobody
mean,
expects COVID, bro. But
but
when
I
you
mean,
do it like that,
I know. But the thing is, I would take it off when I'm eating. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm eating, or I took a picture. You know what I'm saying? So like I probably could have like put it back on a little bit quicker, but you know, at a certain point, it's like, you know, we're doing the cocktail hour, and I'm eating little hors d'oeuvres or whatever. So who knows? It might not have even been there. It might have been like when I went to Costco or something. You know what I'm saying? So it's nobody knows.
Yep. I stay when I go to, like, I don't go to too many parties, or I don't go out too often, but when I do, I stay in the corner. If I'm eating, I get away from everybody. If you come and approach me eating, I do like this and pretend like food's falling out. I'm like,
right.
I do like that. I'm like, and then I turn my head, let you talk to my ear, don't talk in my face.
Have you been out? Have you been doing comedy? Have you been out in the streets, comedy streets?
I have.
Okay, what's that been like?
I have. It's been interesting. You know, they got certain venues there. You know, they're at full capacity, and then you got other venues where they want full capacity, but the people in that area are still leery, which rightfully so. So you know, you see a whole lot of empty seats between people. But I've been enjoying getting back into it. Last year was all Zoom for pretty much most of the year.
Yeah, same. And so you've been able to get out after having a kid, and I haven't been able to do that because I'm like, all right, well, I'm taking care of him now too, giving, you know, the wife like a little bit of support here as well. So it's like, and the other thing was my fear of getting COVID and then bringing it into the house, but that's happened now. So I feel like, you know, I'll probably have to go back into these comedy streets sooner rather than later, because all the excuses to not do so are being lifted.
Ain't that ironic?
But I'm so annoyed because it's like, you know, 18 whatever months, been super careful, haven't caught it, even though the numbers in this area were going up and everything. I was good. I was escaping it, and then boom, and it hits. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, I mean, but when it first happened, they said, well, with the way that, you know, the projections are going, like 80 to 85% of the country is going to get it at some point.
Jesus. Yeah. I hope that number is not true. That is a big number. We got 325 million people in this country. 85%.
Look how many people are. Yeah,
it's like 280 million people or something crazy.
Hey, and then yeah, I mean, if you look at the numbers, that's kind of where they're going, is like 85% of people are gonna end up getting it. Or so now, you know, now I'm on board with the, you know, it's just like it's like HPV. It's like once you get it, it's like everybody's got it.
I don't know how many times HPV then took cats out. But as far as the contagiousness, what's the word? The contagion. I don't know the word.
Right.
But as far as how infectious it is, I get that. But yeah, I don't think HPV is out here killing 200,000 people in a few months.
I know, but I mean, it's again, it's you know, now having confronted it, it's like, all right, it's, you know, it's nerve-wracking, obviously, to get it and be dealing with it, but I can see how it could be damaging. But the other thing is, I try to do a lot, like keep myself well fed. Clearly I'm well fed, but try to eat well is what I meant to say. And, you know, like vitamins and taking you know, different supplements or whatever. And I feel like all that stuff helps you. It helps you keep your body clean, keep you healthy, and it helped like stave it off. So I could feel it like kind of welling up and then like kind of subsiding and welling up and subsiding. And I think that's a facet of just having a healthier immune system. But I can see if you're not right, it could overtake you, or it could do that. But I'm also vaccinated, you know what I mean? Like I also made sure I was vaccinated, you know, and doing all those things and taking care of myself, staying well hydrated, all that shit. So
wait,
you know,
you were fully vaccinated when you caught it?
Yeah. I've been vaccinated since like April.
Okay, I got you.
Right. But again, I was like asymptomatic, so like I was like, you know, didn't have symptoms. That was the thing they were saying. It's like you could still catch it, like your symptoms may be lesser because you caught it. Yeah. But you know, there it is. You know,
you got it from the street or from like a doctor's office?
What, the COVID or the vaccine?
The vaccine. The vaccine.
The vaccine. Yeah, I did the back alley shit. I was like, nah, give me the black one. Give me the black Moderna. A guy said he had 2 for $5, and I was like, yo, let me get that. Let me get the 2 for $5. 2 for $5, 4 for $8. It's like,
right.
It's like, okay, I could do that. It's like, let me get one for my wife too. Nah, we got the the straight up the Moderna one. It's funny though, because before catching COVID, I was like, yeah, like people would be like, I ain't saying my vaccine status for for black reasons. And then once after you get COVID, it's like, no, I did get the vaccine. I did. Because I feel like people will yell at you. People will yell at you if you get the vaccine before you get COVID, but after you get COVID, they'll yell at you if you didn't get the vaccine. So it's like you're skirting that line. It's like, are you vaccinated? You vaccinated? You look like you vaxxed.
Nope.
You didn't get the vaccine?
Did not get the jab. I do not intend to.
Okay.
At least anytime soon. I don't know what's going to happen in 3 years, but I don't know. The 3 years is just a random arbitrary number I threw out there. I don't know that it's going to take 3 years or not. Right now, I'm not getting it.
Okay. No. What about the wife?
Nope. We're on the same page. So I'll just do everything that I can that I feel that I can to be cautious about where I am and who I'm in front of, and always wear my mask, not getting too close to people. Don't let anybody talk to me in my nose.
Yeah, but you're still out at shows, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hey,
I'm out here. I get it. I hear.
Hey, if you're out there, I'm just listen. I felt like when the test came back positive, it like felt good to have that shield up, because as soon as you test positive, you'd be like,
But I do keep myself in pretty good shape.
There you go.
I do drink a lot of water.
There you go.
I don't smoke or do anything that diminishes the capacity of my lung power. Yeah, so yeah, I think I'm pretty good. Nice,
man. So how's fatherhood going for you? You enjoying it?
I am, man. I am. It's for me, what's the most, I don't know if this is the most unique, but this is what just came to the top of my head. Something I thought about. So yes, on October 10th, my son turned 4 months. So got me into a daddy mode and started to think about things and reflect. And what I love so much is my love language. I don't know if you guys have read the 5 love language book, whatever that is.
Yeah.
My top love language is act of service. I love to serve. I love to give. I'm that dude. So my son is completely dependent on me. So that appeases to my servanthood spirit character, because he needs me. So I love to have to do something for him. Or what do you need? Your diaper change? Or what you ready to eat? You want to have fun time? And that I'm about to say turns me on. That's not the word I mean. That's weird. I can't think of the word, the phrase, but
that excites you. It fulfills you. Feel fulfilled.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah. I get that. Me. It's funny because you'll hear a lot of people talk about fathers who don't like change diapers or what. And I'm like, how? That's my kid. Like, what are you talking about? I want to make sure he's good to go. I make sure listen, I love my wife, but she's like, all like, I don't like, afraid to, and I'm like, nah, get up in there. You got to wipe up under the balls and all that to make sure that it's kind of cleaned out and everything. Like, because I have one, I can make sure that it's clean. Like I know the tricks of how to get around it and where it needs to be clean or whatever. Like I'll be like, oh, like I'll have to take over for the baby change. Look at this. You left some crust in the crevices here.
Right.
It's like, so you didn't even know about that crevice. You gotta get to this crevice right here for you, just to make sure that everything's cleaned out. Now she does a magnificent job. She changes them magnificently, but those are like little things. I'm like, nah, let me make sure. I'm very cool. I'm very confident and cool with changing my baby's diaper. I love giving them bottles. I like doing all that type of stuff. So I totally get you when you're talking about the active service. Like I love taking care of them,
Yeah. And when it comes to the diaper changing thing, I'd be telling my wife, I'd be like, hey, I know we're not trying to expose our son to nothing funny, but when you got to put your finger, it's almost put your finger in the hole. You got to get
it.
Right, you gotta clean it. It's stuff around the butthole. You gotta just
I feel like if we had a girl, that would be all her. She knows how to clean that better than I do. I'm gonna clean it wrong. I'm gonna be too delicate when it needs a,
Right.
like, have you ever seen like a woman cleaning out their stuff? They're like, yeah, they like get in there. You're like, whoa, like that's like that's way more aggressive than I would be with it.
Why have you seen that? Like, like what if I'm missing? You say them dishing?
Hey man, listen. Hey, listen. Sometimes you gotta. Sometimes that's the shit you see. You know what I mean? I don't know.
No, it's not. I've never been anywhere.
I don't know. I don't know how to explain it to you, but I've seen it before, and I don't know how to explain it. That's just what it is sometimes.
You know what was so what was crazy is how they pulled the my son out of my wife. He was a natural birth. Well, I don't know natural mean. She had the epidural or whatever, but I mean natural as far as it was a vaginal birth.
Vaginal, yeah.
And so he was coming out head first. All is good, and they started to see the head a little bit, and they're like push. And I'm thinking that he was at least gonna get like all the way through the shoulders or something before they pull. Nope, he got his head out, but right at the neck, the lady, she grabbed like his head and like yanked him out, and I'm like, what in the world? It was so scary. I can't even explain it. I wish I can't say that it happens every time because I don't know. This is the only birth I've witnessed. But the way that she grabbed the head, I was like, yo, you can't do that. That's a soft spot.
Oh, but wow.
Apparently, that's what they do.
You know what? I will agree because I was in there too. So clearly you were in the delivery room when it happened, right? Yeah. We had a natural birth. We are like an actual natural birth where we were at home and we had it, no painkillers or none of that stuff. My wife is a beast. She just bit down on a towel like an old Navy war vet. She's like, argh! And then just like popped him out, which I thought was amazing. But yeah, the head pops out. And then we were like, oh shit, you got to keep pushing. And then she'd like, push one more time. And then he just like flew out. And then I caught him. I actually caught him. Like I said, like I caught him by the head. Like I remember holding his little head in my hand for the first time, like as he came out and he's all like slippery and everything. And I'm just like, it was the greatest catch ever. You know what I'm saying? I felt like Jerry Rice at that moment. Felt like Julio Jones, whoever, Odell. Well, maybe not Odell, but like I felt like I was the king catcher, and I got him. And it was a special moment, man. I have some friends who don't want to be in the room, and I'm like, you got to be in the room, bro. Like that was a great moment.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade that for the world. It was weird. I spoke to somebody recently who educated me on why this had happened. But we had a birth doula, which is her best friend, who's also the godmother to our son. So it's me and her in the delivery room. We both were allowed. But when they were saying, when they were about to give her the epidural, they asked me to leave. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm the husband. Why would this doula? She ain't related. Like, why you ain't telling her to leave? And they're like, yeah, but right now we need you to leave because we need to administer the epidural. We'll talk to you later. I'm like, you can't even give me an explanation. Like, I got so mad at the hospital, man. Like, they just treat dads like. But
well, I mean, I feel like it's if something goes, they don't want you in there being like, what the fuck you doing, or you know what I mean, like what happened? Why is this going wrong? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was pretty much how somebody had explained it to me. But it's so the main reason why, and I can't say the main reason why I was there is this, because I'm her husband. I would have been there, whatever. But my wife, she has a queasy kind of she gets queasy, and she has seizure episodes that can be triggered by stress. So she needs me there for a sense of comfort.
Okay.
So it's like, and I'm not queasy. It's like, whatever y'all doing, I'm not the one to trip. But the doctors don't know that. I think they've had enough experience where they've seen loved ones, spouses, partners,
right,
kind of flip out if they make a mistake or nick the wrong part of the spine. I don't know what they would do, but yeah. I can understand that. But it was like, but I should be in here, because if she starts to flip out, none of y'all can calm her down the way that my voice does.
Right. Yo, so now that you've had one, you've been in the hospital. Would you consider doing a home birth if you did it the next time, since you've seen what it is?
So I have to answer that two times or in separate ways. Generally speaking, yes, but because of my wife's condition and her susceptibility to seizures, no, we need to be in the hospital.
I got you. That makes sense. Well, I'm glad everything worked out for. How are you? Like you said, you had nerves of steel. You were just like, it's good.
Oh yeah, I was making jokes the whole time. I was in there. I had the doctors tripping. So what happened? So my wife actually did. Well, you know what? I keep saying seizures, and they keep telling me not to say seizures because seizures is neural, but she has convulsions. But anyway, she did convulse. She had a convulsive episode before she was pushing, and what happened was about 20 doctors came in, and it made no sense because there was like 10 doctors on each side of her, and they all were talking and cross talking, and
oh wow,
I'm like, how do they follow? But everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. I need 3 cc's. I need blah blah blah. I need this and that. Oh, her blood pressure this. Oh, blah blah blah. Her heart rate, and I'm like,
so it was a real Grey's Anatomy scene in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely dark gray. It wasn't even light gray. It was, but I was on the side, so I was in there for that. They were cool with that. They just didn't want me to be there for the epidural shot. But when all those doctors came in, we had one consultation type of doctor that was in the corner with me and the doula, and she was telling us what the doctors were saying. Oh, that acetaminophen, what they're doing with that is blah, blah, blah. She's like explaining us the medication. She's explaining why the heart rate at 61 was good, but the blah, 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 the BP was low. Blah, blah. She was explaining all this and that. And I'm sitting there just like, it would be my wife. it will be my, she could do this with a comedian because she got a comedian husband to be in here. And then I just had the rest of the room just lighting up the rest of the time.
I would have to concur and agree. It was nice being there, but I went into, because I'm a certified yoga instructor. Instead of comedic mode, I went into yogi mode when we were having a baby. So I was like, all right, no jokes. I was like, all right, I was all about the breath. I was like, all right, here, this is this breathing, this breathing. I was getting everybody on their breathing. Like I got everybody breathing together, and until it was just like a calm environment. I was like, this is the best class that I've ever taught.
Yeah,
but yeah, man, it's fun. But I would say, because you guys had a doula, I would recommend everybody, if you're having pregnancy, like to go through some of that planning, have somebody there advocating with you or whatever. That's a big thing, because I realized going through the pregnancy how little information is out there, or how little people talk about like that process of being pregnant, and having somebody there to like advocate for you, which is what a doula does.
The unique experience for us is because our doula is her best friend, which is also Cody's godmom. I don't know, and this is not to shun any doulas. I have no idea, because I haven't experienced it, what the doula experience would be for a complete stranger who's just having someone there to advocate. They could still be useful and helpful. One of the biggest areas of help for me was during the actual pushing, because I'm logic first, emotion like 10th. So I'm logic 1 through 9.
Right.
And emotion coming to 10. So when the doctors are like trying to encourage her to breathe and to push, and there's like a rhythm to it, in my mind, I'm like, hey, breathe. Why are you not breathing? Push. Why are you not pushing? But that ain't how you should talk to your to the wife, because that's how I wanted to say. I didn't say anything, but the doula was rubbing her hair, rubbing her head. Hey, baby, right now you got to push. I know you can do it. Come on, you got to push. You got to do it. All right, now breathe. Take your time. Take your time. Don't worry. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad that she was there, because I'm like, if you don't push, if you don't breathe, you're not gonna live, and he ain't gonna live. Like,
ain't nobody gonna leave or live if you don't.
Right.
Breathing. No, I get it. No, I listen. Our experience was great. Our doulas, it was Mel Kennedy, Tia Danridge, and Ryan Morales. We have to give a shout out to them. They were great, and they all like serve those like they do midwife functions, but also doula functions as well. But they were great, and they made the experience really amazing. And like I said, we had the baby right at home, which is great, especially during COVID times. If you're afraid of COVID, I'm like, I'm not going into the hospital. Like, I hear about what's going on. Why would I want to be where COVID's at? Like, I spent all this time staying where COVID's not. Why would I go have the baby where COVID is?
That makes a lot of sense.
Right? Like, what? Like, why would I go to where it's at anyway. So what's been the dopest part of this whole experience, this journey, this new fraternity that we're part of? What's been the dopest part for you?
The dopest part. These I try to stay away from the superlative type of questions because I don't want to say that something else is less dope, right? But I'll give something that I believe is dope, but I don't want to take this as being the dopest because there could be something else that just didn't come to my mind that could be just as dope. So I'll preface my response with that and say, seeing his smile, man, like it's gratifying. I put it in, I guess, I get joy out of doing stand up. Right. And the joy that I get isn't because I'm telling stuff that I like, that I think is funny. Because if I tell the jokes in front of a crowd and nobody laughs, I don't get gratification from that. It's like I get a learning experience.
Right.
But I don't get gratification. But if I get someone to smile, if I get someone to laugh, it's, oh man, I put you in a good mood for at least 2 seconds. And that is my goal in comedy. Hey, I want to take your mind away from whatever it is, give you a moment of joy, even if it only lasts 10 seconds. My goal is the entire time that I'm on stage, I'm giving you a moment of joy, right? But to see my son, when I do something, look at his eyes and he smiles, it's like, ooh, this is yes, I am your father. That is a great feeling.
Oh man, that's yeah, man, the little smiles, that it warms my heart when you see it. You know what I'm saying? When he just like, especially when you make him smile, when he has no expression, he's just looking at you with the blank baby stare, like,
yeah.
And then you do a little something, and he's like, and you're like, see, that's my son. I can make him laugh whenever I need to. That part is pretty amazing. I'll tell you, mine is the like just sleeping with them on my chest. You know what I mean? Laying with them on my chest, like that little moment where he's all snuggled up. That's my shit right there. That's my favorite. That's my number one.
I'm not mad at that.
Yes.
I remember somebody said something to me. They were like, "Isn't that the best?" They said, "Sleep on their chest. Isn't that the best thing in the world?" And I was like, that one I can answer clearly and say no. Like that was not the best feeling. I love it, but the practice of making him is probably the best feeling.
Nah.
So don't get it twisted. I enjoyed my son laying on my chest, but me and his mama had to go through. And as a matter of fact, so while I'm on that vein, real quick, I want to say that's dope too. So in thinking about it, if I were to put them in a hierarchical way, this is probably the dopest, and that is being able to have this experience with my wife, with someone I love as much as I do, because we planned this. This wasn't a mistake. We asked for Cody since 2018. So to see him manifest and to see him come here, be born in 2021 as a prayer that was answered. So I think one of the dopest things is having that experience, planning for it with my wife and raising him together.
Damn, that's amazing. Yeah, man. My wife and I also, we planned. It's just funny because every time I hear you talk, I'm like, damn, there's so many parallels between how you done it and how I done it. I'm just like, yes, we planned it. We're excited to like have them and like kind of seeing this like we said all these things and then we kind of just did them, and then now it's here. Now we got the baby, and it's just like, wow, you know what I mean? Like it's just shocking. And then when you're just like walking around and you're in the grocery store and you're just like, I wonder how many of these people are accidents. Like how many of these like they're it's cool that they're here now, but how many people are just like, oops, now
Probably
you're in the world. How many?
85%.
You think?
That's the number you said we're supposed to catch COVID. Everybody who's going to catch COVID were accidental babies.
It's not true, but Mom wanted me. She told me. I know she did.
Man, you're vaccinated and still caught COVID. Look at that.
Yeah, hey, it's a thing. That's how it works. That's how. But I don't understand how people didn't understand that's how it works to begin with. Like you always could still get the virus inside of you, even if you're back. It's not a fucking force field. Like I don't. Like, people act like you get the vaccine and there's a shield up. It's not. You're not on the Enterprise. It's not like shield's enacted. Like now, shit's bouncing off. Like it can still get in there, but it's what happens when it gets in there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Does it have less effect? Does it have more effect? In my case, it felt like it had less effect. I don't know. Knock on wood. I'm still not out of the quarantine period. I don't want to start making declarations like I kicked COVID's ass, and then this motherfucker come back on me, and I'm like, I'm sorry, COVID. I ain't mean it.
Right.
But that's what it is. But yeah, man, it's what's the what's the worst part, I guess you'd say, of or what's the part that is your least favorite right now out of all the parenting duties and fatherhood?
Oh my goodness. The fact that he doesn't understand time and what's not convenient for daddy and mommy.
Right.
And it doesn't matter to him. If he's hungry now. If he doesn't like his pee diaper, he doesn't like it now.
Right.
If he doesn't want to sleep, but he didn't even want to do anything, but he just doesn't want to be in his bassinet. He needs to be out of it now. And it's like, yo, bro, I got a job to try to plan for your future. I got to work on this project over here for you, little nigga. Like, this is for your future. Like,
right.
So you chill out. Why? No.
Yeah.
And you get my future straight and pick me up, nigga. And I'm like, yo,
it's so true. Their screams are crazy. When they get that indignant scream, I feel like it's so disrespectful. You know what I mean? Like, where they're just like, you're like, hold on, slow down. It's like, you're just like, all right. Like, if another person on the street screamed in my face like that, I would slap them. But you're my baby and I love you. So I'm just going to do what you want.
What I respect is that they look you in the eyes as they scream at you. It's like, okay, you ain't scared. You ain't being no little chumble. You look me there. I'm like, yo, fam, calm down.
Oh man, then they get the little tongue.
That is G.
The little tongue waggle, like it's like, okay, like it's you can tell there's anger in that laugh. It's not discomfort. It's not like, I'm annoyed. I'm angry at you for your lack of care. This is not a 5-star establishment.
Right.
Who was I born to? Why haven't these peasants served me yet? That's how I feel like he's
right.
I like, if he could Yelp us, I feel like he would give us a poor Yelp review in those moments.
And ain't that something? Because when we're doing something nice, when we're doing what we're supposed to do, no reviews. People don't like to review when you do something good.
No reviews. Yeah, exactly. He's never loud with his giggles. You know what I mean? His giggles are all cute and little.
Right.
And as soon as he uncover, it's like, oh, right. Jesus.
Right.
So luckily for me, I could tune it out a little bit more than my wife can. Like I don't know if your wife is the same way, but because they carried the baby and birthed the baby, like they're really connected to that cry, where I am not. I'm like, nigga, I will go play video games. You better cut it out. Like, stop it.
Yeah, we've so I won't get too personal, but yeah, we've had some conversations, and had to figure out ways to compromise, because we also had that conflict, because my wife she'll tap me, hey, he's crying, you need to go handle that, and I'm like, he's been crying for 3 seconds.
Right.
Like what is it? Yeah, but I heard him. I'm like, well, give him another 20 seconds and he's gonna go back to sleep.
He's fine. It's fine.
He's a baby.
But I'll say the difference is, if he makes a sound when he's sleeping, I jump up super fast.
Really?
Like, yeah, when because he sleeps like pretty close to us. Not now that I have COVID, I'm all quarantined and shit off in the side of the house, or side of the apartment. Because it's an apartment, no house. They put like a plastic tarp over me. But like, I'll jump up, or I was jumping up like immediately if I would hear him like make a noise when he was sleeping in his bassinet. I'd be like, oh shit, I gotta like tend to him. You know what I mean? And it's funny because I feel like sometimes I like, how you have that grog, you're like, oh, I need to get up and do something. You kind of rock and roll and get like, I feel like this is the one time where I do like an immediate like jump up straight from dead sleep to jump up into looking in the bassinet. It's wow, it's uncanny.
Okay, no, I ain't mad at that. To each his own. Like, I ain't gonna tell nobody else how to parent. Me, I let that little nigga sleep. Like if he make a little bit of noise, it's a little bit of noise. And,
Right.
and I'm like, wife, if you don't stop tapping me, and if you think he needs attention, you go to him. It's 3 seconds. If he's crying for 5 minutes or screaming for 5 minutes, all right, maybe I get up. Maybe I won't hold out for 5 whole minutes. But it definitely ain't 3 seconds. You gonna wait because he gonna go back to sleep. And generally he does.
I haven't told my wife this, but I'm like, I need to tell her, listen, it's a battle of attrition. And right now, I am in the lead. Like, like you are not going to win. Like, this dude is wearing you down. Because every time he cries, she'd be getting all stressed out. Be like, ah. And I just be like, look, he's going to cry. Like, I just got to let him, you know what I mean? Like, let him do it. But I think it's good because she attends to him. Because that way, if there is something serious, she's going to catch it first. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll be there. So I think he needs to understand, like, okay, like sometimes I'm just going to have to deal with it myself. Sometimes if it's really important, I'm going to get tended to. You know, I feel like that might meter him. But the thing that I hear often is like, he's too young to be training him. I'm like, well, you got to learn sometime, don't he?
Yeah, I know. So one of the things that we've worked out is when that started to happen, he's better now at 4 months. But let's say 2 months ago, when he would cry in the middle of the night, I'd take him downstairs, and keep him on the couch with me. So it's like both of us get sent to the couch when he makes noise, and I'm like, boy, this is what you're doing to daddy already. Like I ain't even in this.
But you got grounded. You got in trouble.
Disturbing mommy's slumber, and then both of us get sent to the doghouse. But yeah, I can sit down on the couch and let him cry, and I'll go to sleep.
Yeah. Like, I mean, yeah. I'll check, but the thing is, he's good though. Like usually, if I check him, see what's going on, look in his diaper, look at to see what's happening. Right. He is like, okay, I'm like that's what I needed. Now I'm good, or or feed him. You know what I mean? Like he's not really crying incessantly when he doesn't need something. So there's rare times, like maybe when he's a little bit sleepy. But if he's a little bit sleepy, I just rock him and then he goes to sleep. So. That like we haven't got to the stage where it's like he's just crying to cry. You know what I mean? So that's good. So we talked a lot about the babies. What do you like to nerd out about?
What do I like to nerd out about? I binge watch a lot of Netflix. I don't know if there's something particular that I'd like to nerd out about. I binge watch Netflix. I don't know.
Or you watch the Squid Game?
I've watched all of that. I did see all of Squid Game. But yeah, I like crime kind of series. I don't mind the gore. I'm Walking Dead fan. But yeah, I couldn't. As you mentioned, the Spider-Man I got on my wall. I'm a fan of him as a character. I do not follow comic books or the comics really at all. But I'm a fan of Spider-Man.
Right. Okay. So you're not into the MCU and all that?
Not particularly, no. I watch all the movies.
Okay. But not a fan. You watch them like begrudgingly.
No, I enjoy them. No,
okay.
I do.
You made it sound like you watch them out of hate. Like, I ain't a fan of them, but I watch them because Spider-Man's in them.
I just didn't want to be challenged. It was like, all right, so what's first wife's brother's name? And it's like, all right, you're going too far.
No challenges. Just like to, we get a well-rounded, because it's called the Blerd podcast. It's been heavy on the dad. So sometimes I need to go back and be like, all right, what are some of these blerdy interests that we have? Like, I love, these comic book movies or whatever, these comic book series, there's different comic books that come out. Also like Star Wars and all this type of stuff. So, I get really into that stuff, and I'll go through it, talk about the lore, and whatnot with people, whenever they want to talk about it. But yeah, we like to give people an opportunity to share some of their nerdy interests that other people might not know about, that they need to know about, like something that you would talk about, like yo, I'll go fully deep in on this subject.
Yeah. I don't think I have much to offer in that area. I was single for 7 years and dated a whole lot since I was a teenager. I have a lot of stories.
Oh, you nerd out about dating?
Yes,
you nerd out about dating.
That's the only thing I think I qualify for. Like, I can nerd out about relationships, romance, dating.
Oh, word. So you got all kind of advice and all kind of what you call it, tips and tricks.
I got experiences, and
Mm.
I could share stories about things that went wrong, things that went well. When it comes to this general just nuggets, hey man, drop a nugget on how do you stay together for a long time. Those are I can't answer those kind of questions.
Ah,
I
okay.
can, but I can tell you how to respond to a needy girl, or how to respond to a quiet girl.
How do you respond to a needy girl? All right, let's get into it. Since we here, I feel like that's a topic
Why are you doing this?
blerds would really need to they don't care about Spider-Man. They want to know, how do I talk to the needy girl, or how do I talk to the shy girl?
Well, I think so. It depends on what you want from them first, right? But if she's needy, first you got to understand that. And from my perspective, at least, what my experience was, you can't cave in. Cave in is the right word. Give in. You can't give in. They're needy, and you know it. But when you feed the need, the needier they become. So you don't want to perpetuate that situation. There's a way to tame it. If they need 10, don't give them 10. Give them 4.
Gotcha.
You can't even give them half, because half is too much.
Yeah, because then they want to take 7.5. I get it.
Right.
That makes sense. I'm gonna take some of this knowledge back. Use this on my wife. So you ain't supposed to use it when it's a wife. Once it's a wife, you already lost the game. Now if they want 10, they get in 15.
Yeah. No, but I think when you get the wife, you win the game. I think I'll say that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Absolutely.
I thought about that. Yeah. That's a winning of the game. You know what? You're 100% right. I definitely feel like my life has been more fulfilled since getting married, and having this baby and everything. And it I guess you could look at it like, oh, I'm not able to do XYZ, this certain thing. But I think the other way that you could look at it is you've gained so much more,
Yeah. I wouldn't trade it for the world. There are things, there's a balance, right? There's like you were alluding to, there's something you might lose, but there are things that you gain, and I think it's what weight you put on each of those items,
Right.
the value that you assign each item. It's how you weigh the balance. You can lose time or opportunity to. I have less opportunity to go perform because I have to be around more for my son.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part over here. But then the part over here is I have more time with my son and more opportunity to teach him what I believe he should learn. So
right.
when I assign weights, this is 30 and this is 10. So even though I'm losing opportunity to perform, I'm gaining more opportunity to raise my son, and it weighs more.
That you know what? I 100% agree with you, and I feel that way the same way, because I haven't been performing as much. But as soon as he starts doing that little rattle in the back of the throat cry, I'm like, I think I should reassign these weights. As soon as he does it, I'm like, I can leave. You will be a great basketball player if you keep it up. You're going to be an amazing athlete if you keep crying like this, because I won't be around. No, I'm joking. What are you looking forward to, man? What do you got I guess going on in comedy? Well, first of all, what are you looking forward to in fatherhood? What stage are you looking forward to?
I'm all about the end product. So whenever there comes a time when he needs me the least. So I don't know if that's right when he turns 18, right when he turns 21, when he turns 25. But whenever there's like a moment where he needs me the least, that he's his own man and can do his own thing, I'm looking forward to that, because then that will culminate everything that I tried to teach him from now to whenever he's becomes that adult. Yeah. And it's like, okay, so what have I done? How are you as a 25-year-old self-sufficient man doing things, independent man? How are you?
Oh, it's so hard, because it's like you want to teach him to be independent and be his own man, but you still, because of that acts of service thing, it's like, but you still want him to like need you, like you want to help him, you know what I mean? Want to help him do things, and and do everything. And at what point are you like teaching them so much to be uh uh like a good self-sufficient person that you have now he's like, I don't need you, because once someone's self-sufficient, they don't want you around like hovering over them, always like ready to interject or help or whatever. It's like, nah, I'm self-sufficient, go, like, you go live your life, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's going to be a tough part.
Yeah, so I'm hoping there's a way to. I'm hoping I find the way to sneakily. I'm making up words here. To sneakily let him know that there may be some intangibles that I could guide him on, right? Because perhaps he starts his own business at the age of 12, right, and he becomes financially independent by the time he's 15. Perhaps that happens, right? Then perhaps he's super smart and he graduates high school at 15. Maybe he's a genius kid. So maybe at 15 he thinks, oh, I can do this on my own. I have money. My education is here. I can live life on my own. I'm ready for it. But it's like, well, no, you haven't really experienced cops pulling you over for no reason. You're still a black kid. Like,
Right.
there's still some things I can teach you about. You haven't been in that many relationships because you've been studying and building your business. You haven't let me teach you about women yet.
Mm.
Are you saved? I'm teaching you about my faith. You're raised in a Christian house, but are you living a Christian teenagehood? Like, there's so many things that I still feel like I could teach. So I'm hoping that I don't instill so much self independence. That's a redundant word. So much independence that he becomes too independent too early.
Yeah. You know what? I would welcome it. I feel like I would welcome the independence. And I would just hope that the foundation that I instilled allows his independence to carry him in a positive direction with all those things you're talking about, faith, how to handle himself, around people with cops and all that type of thing. Because at the end of the day, once they get to my mom wrote a book. It's called Baby Raising Babies, where she talks about like raising us. And, in there she has some jewels. One of them is, by the time that they're 5, they have the foundation of what they're going to be. So whatever you've instilled into them up until then is pretty much like that's their operating system. And from then on, like, you're putting little programs on it, you know what I'm saying? But at the base layer, that code is in there, you know what I mean? It is very difficult to change that base layer coding, you know what I'm saying? So
I like that analogy.
yeah, so I actually just came up with it right now. She didn't put that in the book. She should put it in the rewrite, because I'm gonna use that now.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah, that came off the top, just so you know.
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's how and that's honestly how I feel about it. I'm like, and sometimes I wonder and worry, like, okay, like we sit down, right, and I'm holding him on my lap and I'm watching, like, some movie, some shooter movie, and I'm like, is this getting imprinted on him? Like, what, like, is this, because there are some things that he will sit up and just like, or not sit up, but he'll start looking at the screen. He'll be like, like, and I'm like, all right, is he taking this in? Because babies can't see that far, but he definitely looks like he's looking at the television and like,
Yeah.
and like, but there are times when he's definitely not engaged, and then there's times where he's like, nah, I'm watching this, like, shh, be quiet.
Right. And that's one of those things, I think. So right now it's cool because Cody's 4 months, and like you said, I don't really know how much he can see or interpret, but I feel like that may be a conversation that my wife and I will have to have at some point, because she really watches like mostly wholesome movies, romantic comedies, and Christian movies, and I'm all about like I said earlier, the horror, the gore movies, the scary movies, the shoot 'em up violence, crime movies. I'm into all of that, and I'm like, well, when I grew up watching like Hellraiser, Nightmare on Elm Street, Poltergeist, the scariest movies back in the 80s.
Right.
I grew up as a kid watching it because my mom would let us watch it. And my wife's like, we're not letting our kid watch scary. I'm like, but I came out fine. I didn't come out to be a serial killer. I think I'm pretty intelligent. I think
Right.
I think I'm a pretty nice person. Like, like, so watching that didn't really do anything. And I don't know what all the psychologists say about what kids watch or whatever. But I know, like you were saying, some things may imprint into them that could be taken the wrong way by them. I don't know. So, but it's one of those things I think we might have to worry about or talk about when he actually starts watching movies and cartoons. Because I'm willing to watch it with them, but I don't think she wants me to.
Right.
So I guess I can't.
What do you got going on, man? What's going on in the comedy world for you? You got some shows coming up. You got some performances.
Yeah, man. So I've been doing a show in Mineral, Virginia, which is a town inside of Louisa County, Virginia. I've been doing a show there every month. We've been doing it outside since last year, but we only do it during the summer months because it's outside. So we'll go from like March to October. So we just had our last show last week, actually.
Oh wow, y'all like a farmer's market?
Yeah. With cider. It's a cidery. So we know no watermelons and cantaloupes, but you get apples because it's cider. So it's fermented apples, and however else you make cider, I don't really know what they do with the apples.
Nice.
But because so last year we didn't do any inside because the mandate was no inside or something like that. Anyway, they've relaxed on the mandate now for COVID. So now we're talking about doing shows inside. We're skipping November because it's just not enough time to organize the logistics correctly. But we may be back in December and go monthly from there until the spring, until March, and then we do it back outside. But outside of that, we're doing a monthly show at Richmond's new comedy club called Sandman Comedy Club.
Oh, no. How is that, man? I've been wanting to get down there.
It's cool. It's a dope spot. I'm happy that they came to Richmond and introduced just a different comedy outlet other than the other one that Richmond has, Funny Bone. So
are you still there? Are you still doing some shows at Funny Bone as well?
Well, Funny Bone has been closed since last year.
Oh wow! What? They didn't open back up. They didn't start back up.
Correct. They're renovating, so they're not just down for the pandemic.
Okay.
They've gone through a whole renovation project and adding 100 and something seats. They bought space next to their old club, so they're adding an arcade and more seats and doing different things. So that's the only reason that they're still closed.
Nice. Okay.
But they're expected to open back up. I guess early next year.
Wow.
But Sandman Comedy Club opened in April of 2021. So instead of us waiting,
and it's been jumping from what I've seen.
Yeah, they do shows Thursday through Saturday, and then kind of their off night is like Sundays. So our first show there was last Sunday, and so we'll be doing a monthly show there. Me and my guy, we do a podcast together called Off the Pad. Off the Pad, where's that?
Ah, there we go.
Couldn't really see it, but anyway.
Oh, you got a calendar?
I do have a calendar.
Nice. Stephanie, please make calendars for our podcast. Thank you. I just have to give that note to the wife.
Well, that's actually my personal calendar called Pumpfly Calendar, trademarked. I don't. Are you supposed to say that? I don't know. Registered. It's called Pumpfly Calendar. I do puns. I write a lot of original puns. Okay. So I made a calendar where each month you get some puns.
Oh, nice.
But the Off the Pad is just for advertising the podcast.
How good are you with the puns? Like if I was like, yo, give us a pun to take us out for the night. What could you give us one off the cuff?
I can.
Oh, all right. Give us one off the cuff.
Maybe one that I've used it for. So this is something new. Unless you want to give me a new subject and challenge me to come up with a new. But one of my favorites. Go ahead.
Let's see a new subject. What do you need? Like you need like what? Like two places in a thing or something? How do I prompt you?
That's a very good. I've never done this before. So.
This is new. We're stretching our comedic talents right now.
So I don't know, but that sounded like a threesome. Like, give me two places and a thing. It's like, wait a minute. Or it could have been just two people.
All right, give me a father-son pun. How about that?
Father-son pun. All right. Maybe I shouldn't have suggested that you challenge me in this way.
I know this is too much. All right, give me.
So I was outside with my son, and he was like, "Look, Daddy, there's a daddy long leg." And then I stepped on it and I said, it's a Deady long leg. Deady. D-E-A-D-Y. I'm sorry. You made me do it.
Oh, man. Oh, man. You know what? As I've become a father, that's hilarious to me. Things like that. Like dad jokes. Dad jokes are hilarious, man. Like I like them. I'm totally about them now. All right. Tell the people where they can find you next or coming up, or your social media, anything you want to plug.
Yeah, man. I would love for anybody's listening, watching, to follow me on social media. I do keep all of my shows updated there. I'm actually recording a special in the next 3 months. It's called I Used to Date a Girl. So you can look out for I Used to Date a Girl. It'll be shipped to Amazon, Prime Video, and Netflix. I'm not sure if I'll record that in Richmond or in New York. Either way, but it'll be on my social media platform. So just search Jayé Toler, Jayetoler.
Like, will it come up if you don't put the accent mark over the E?
It will.
Okay, because if you notice in the promo, I got the accent mark over the E. It didn't show up here, but
it's all good.
We got the accent marks in the other promo, but there you can find them. Jayé Toler. Am I saying it right? Jayé Toler.
Yeah, you said it right now. At first you said Tyler, but I didn't even correct you.
Jayé Toler, comedian, or Jayé Toler on IG. Listen, man, it's been pretty awesome chatting with you about fatherhood and whatnot, man. Thank you for coming on here. I know we've only had like limited experience hanging out and performing together, but I was like, I just remember you had your kid like right around the time I had mine, and I was just like, yeah, I gotta talk to him because we're in the trenches together.
I love it. I'm not mad. I appreciate you, dude. I do.
Yeah, we gotta get up some time, and now that I've gone through
not
this,
soon. You got another 7 days at least.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Like if I pop up this weekend, you'd be like, bro, what are you doing? Back up. But yeah, hopefully I'll be out of this quarantine, come out of it, sailing in. And I've been meaning to get down there to Richmond, or you come up here once we start putting on shows together, Level Up Comedy, putting up shows together. So I'm gonna close the show out. Stick around if you got a minute. Stick around right after I close the show out. So that was Jayé Toler, y'all. Hilarious comedian, great father, and you heard it. We learned so much today about fatherhood. We learned that you don't got to get up immediately to get these kids. They're gonna be all right. We learned that doulas, as always, doulas are a great service. I highly recommend that you check it out if you're having a kid. They'll help you go through that process. And what else did we learn? We learned that you should definitely wear your mask to protect yourself more often. I learned that one the hard way, and hopefully it won't be too hard. I'm just rambling now at this point, not saying much of anything. So I should probably just end the show, as always, by saying, blerd that out.